Hiya. Um, I have been seeing a quote everywhere and it has inspired me to do a reading for you. Um, it is a quote from Anais Nin, who said, "We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are." So coming at this from like a vibrational um stance. So it's saying like the lens that you are perceiving the world through is literally muddied by whatever state your energetic being is in, your emotional being is in. So I thought this would be quite fun maybe, healing to explore. So I'm going to break it down by astrological signs. So you're welcome to watch your sun, your moon, your rising, all of them, whichever one feels more resonant, stick with that. If none of them resonate, then the message isn't for you, and that's fine. There may be another reading somewhere on YouTube for you, or one of my readings later on. Okay. Hi, Leo. Sun, moon, rising. Okay, let's have a look at what lens you are seeing the world through. Hmm, interesting. Okay, so the Five of Wands. Fives in the tarot are a little bit challenging. They're in the middle, a little bit wobbly, sorry. Um, and wands is the suit of fire, so the element of fire, sorry. So it is kind of, again, challenge. Um, Here it is very much depicted, as you can see, it's a chess match. So it's kind of strategy, it's kind of approaching life and seeing the world as a strategic game. I like that the word game has come into it because obviously Leo is a very playful energy. Um, so it's kind of this balance of, yeah, it's strategy, it's thinking about, well, it's kind of, because when I'm saying strategy, it's kind of an observing, oh, so and so's made this move, and kind of looking at it as like, well, they've made this move, they must have consciously made this move because they want to head towards this outcome, kind of thing, like a strategy to win. And when you think of it as that way, in terms of if everyone else is your opponent, that they are making moves that in some way you can lose. Do you see what I mean? But you can't lose because it's your life and you're the main character. And the hero always wins. The hero overcomes and triumphs. So yeah, I feel as though there's some element of feeling a little bit us and them in terms of your experience of moving through the world. We'll have a look at where this came from. Everyone gets a big card for this, I swear. Okay, don't be afraid. You got the death card. So death is from the major arcana, so that's like soul lessons through this lifetime. So in terms of where your perception, your lens of viewing the world as being a little bit in, I'm going to say in competition, with you, comes through your experience of having to overcome things. So the death card isn't generally about actual death. It's more about aspects of life that come to an end. And then you move through like a transition, a transformation, like the caterpillar dies to become a butterfly. There's no remnants of caterpillar in the butterfly. It's a whole new being. Um, so, um, I mean, this could have come about through, when I say it's not about an actual death, it could be in terms of like not you, but a loved one that passed on, and the trauma of that has evolved you into feeling perhaps that life is this strategic game that you have to overcome and you have to beat. That, like, not necessarily even that these are people, that it's like you are in this simulation, like some people believe. I'm not saying you believe that, but like that your experience of life and the way you're seeing it is that life is making moves and you need to make moves to counter the challenges that life is throwing at you, and that you think you need to, yeah, counter those or block those challenges so that you can have the smooth life. Because you have experienced challenges and had to overcome. I'm going to come back to the death card in a minute. I'm going to have a look at how we can clean up your lens. How can we clean up Yo's lens? Okay, so Spirit is asking you to slow down. Okay. So you've got the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so out of all of the knights in the town, knights are movement, motion, they're kind of a teenagey kind of let's get going, fearless kind of energy. But the Knight of Pentacles isn't moving. He's always shown static. Not always, but generally. That's his theme. So yeah, this is Spirit saying, right, we need to pause a minute. We need to stop pushing. Stop feeling like we're constantly in a battle and life's a struggle. The Knight of Pentacles has planted his seeds of what he wants his life to look like. Okay. And he trusts and he knows that the rain is going to fall, the sun is going to shine, and these seeds are going to grow. Okay. So the life that the knight is wanting is going to happen because he's planted the seeds. He doesn't need to move. He's not taking action. He's not fighting. He's not thinking, oh, well, my seeds are in the dark, so I need to shine a light on them because that's a challenge that needs to be overcome. Well, it hasn't rained for 3 days. I better water my plants. Oh, I can't see any sprouts coming up, so I need to dig them up and check them. He's not doing any of that. He's just trusting. Whereas this energy, this way of viewing the world is things aren't happening as I want them to happen. I need to make moves to counter the challenges kind of thing. So I think, yeah, there's definitely something about here reaching a state of trust that the seeds that you're planting in terms of what you want your life to look like and the reality that you're creating, to trust that having the intention, planting the seeds in the imaginal realm of what you want your life to look like, the smooth ride that you want to experience, knowing that you just having that intention sets the ripples in motion, sets the energy, the tone of your reality creation. Yeah, so you're being asked to trust. So this in itself is a challenge. This is like almost asking you to go through a death, through a transformation, to say, can I shed this lens? Can I shed this way of seeing the world, that everything is a challenge, that I need to be strategic, that the world is throwing this challenge, so I need to counter challenge, like counter move to that. It's yeah, something you're being challenged to shed this way of being and to enter a period of trust. So we'll see if there's anything around the truth of this. Any other business? Yes, any other business? Nice, I like this. Okay, so you got liberty. So this is going to be quite freeing for you. Because if you think about it, if you see everything as a challenge, you're in a cage. Like you're constantly, like life feels like each challenge that you come up against is another bar on your cage, and you're being challenged, counter challenged to trust and not push and just allow. And I feel like, it's kind of this lady's almost like spirit saying, look, there's another way. If you just trust, you will receive gifts, and they're all here waiting to be had. You don't need to be in this cage of everything's a struggle. what is my next strategic move to get ahead on my path. It's just relax a little bit and allow and trust. Look for signs. Yeah, allow a little bit of magic, I think, as well. It's kind of, with the whole the night planting the seeds, it's, as much as we can look at it as science that, oh, I planted this seed and then the water and the sun and it will grow. There's an element, if you didn't know the science, there is an element of magic to it that, like, why plant the seed and it grows? How incredible is that? I read a book about, oh, well, it's like a storybook, and it was all about Neanderthals and stuff, and how they perceived like pregnancy and stuff, and they saw that the gods planted this seed, and how miraculous it was that this being grew out of somebody. And it's almost like, can you get back to that kind of, like, clean your lens to see the world through that slightly more magical, like, if I just set the intention and allow it to unfold rather than having to strategically plan and take step by step to get there, can we allow a little bit of magic to come in? I feel like this might be difficult for you just because of the death card, and like this, it feels like it's really like through the bones. Like, can I let this just happen without me taking control? It does feel like a big challenge for you, but you know, you're up to a challenge. You're strong. You're an eternal spirit. You can do this. Just lean into the magic a little bit. Um, yeah. So good luck with that, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.